This is the Weigh-In Podcast by Benoit Chestnut.
And Sebastian Romero.
And on this week's Weigh-In Podcast, we bring to you a special guest, amateur MMA fighter Dakota Grooms. Is that how I say your last name?
Yes,
Right?
sir. Yes, sir.
Dakota Grooms. He is an MMA fighter, and that is this week's video as we're going to bring to you actually our first ever MMA guest to be on the weigh-in. So
Exactly.
let's
Yeah,
kick it off.
appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah. So I guess my first question as we get into this, what made you want to do MMA?
Well, growing up, I've always watched UFC, MMA, amateur MMA, and it was always a big thing to me. And I've never really there's no gyms really around here that anybody really knows about, so I didn't really, I never really tried. So really, just watching is what made me get into it. But I finally found a gym and just I buckled down and did it. I mean, I just started like a year ago, and it's all been uphill from there.
That's pretty good to go from. So right now your current record is 2-0, correct?
Yes, sir.
So to have started a year ago, now you're up to 2-0. You know, a lot on this podcast, we always say we're not athlete performance, but a lot of times we talk about doing all the right things, being one's best self. And when somebody goes up and gets into a sport and is able to get themselves to 2-0, some people don't understand the aspect of getting to 2-0 because the aspect is to somebody outside sport, they say, well, that's easy. Yeah, but there's tons of people who start 0-2, 1-1. To start out a career 2-0 is just it's not easy.
No, it's definitely not. I mean, and then especially in this sport, because you never know. I mean, any debut can be amazing, any debut can be terrible, but you never know what you're going to get. And there's no footage on anybody. There's nothing to tell you how good somebody is as soon as you get into the sport.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I kind of did it a little backwards. Like I took my first fight without any training. I I literally found a promoter that I was like, hey man, I've got no training whatsoever, but I want to take a fight, which I would never tell anybody to ever do. But I'm lucky. I got somebody that trained for a couple months, and I ended up knocking him out. So it was pretty. I got lucky, and then I buckled down, got in the gym, and went back in with somebody well rounded, purple belt, and I got another knockout. So I was very lucky, but training aspect definitely helps.
Who's Dakota? Who's your MMA your favorite MMA fighter that got you into the MMA career? What made you want to be it? Like, do you have any role models you look up to that
Oh,
made that you want to be like?
Robbie Lawler, man.
Mhm.
Robbie Lawler. He's a
Yeah.
dog, man. I've always watched him. I always wanted to fight like him.
Mhm.
So that's got to be the guy.
That's cool.
Yeah, that dude's a dog.
What was the toughest fight of your career so far that you fought?
Probably my second fight, and it was more of a mental game. I was
Mhm.
late on the card because I knocked somebody out really early. I've got two 11-second fights, so I mean, it was honestly scary. The second guy I fought, like it really mentally messed with me because I've watched all the fights beforehand. The dude I fought up at 185, my walking around weight. The guy I fought cut weight, so he was a big dude. I was seeing him at weigh-ins, and I was like, man, this dude's gonna kill me. Like this dude's this dude's a dog. So it really was like in my head. I knew he was a purple belt, and I was like, man, if I get caught by this guy, because I only had like I think 6 months of training, and he had, I mean, trained for a long time because he was a purple belt. He had trained MMA alone, but for 3 years, and then trained however many years to get his purple belt. So I knew it was gonna be a tough fight, and really the hardest part of that fight was just the mentally preparing. But once you get in that cage, it's over. You don't think about anything else.
What's the best skill you think you have in MMA? When you fight, what combos do you use? what do you normally use to get through your opponents?
I really aspect the jab more than anything. I usually chase the guard, see if I can keep him up against the edge of the cage the whole time. Really, I'm fighting for center, but really one, two, three. But so far, I mean, the one and the two has knocked him out first time. So luckily, but one, two, three. I like I like one, two, rear head kick. That's my big thing. If you can put that combo in, it works every time because the one and two breaks down their guard. It's awesome.
So that tells us that's a strong 1-2 if they can't stand the
Exactly.
1-2.
Yeah, usually the two hits them and puts them to sleep, but this next guy I'm fighting, he's a dog, so he's probably not gonna go go to sleep on that one.
So when is your next fight?
May 31st.
All right, just so we can let some of the viewers know.
Where are you gonna be fighting if we want to go see you fight in person?
Ashland, Kentucky.
Okay.
So I live up in Ohio, but in Ohio the amateur rules are a little different. You can't head
Okay.
kick, you can't knee to the head. So I want to get out of Ohio to get more prepared for pro fights. So, but yeah, it's gonna be May 31st, Ashland, Kentucky, and it's gonna be a title fight. So should be pretty
That's
fun.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
Hopefully we could go see you fight, but if we can't, we'll watch you on TV because we have
yeah,
to watch you fight.
it's gonna be all pay-per-view, and it's gonna be a good one, man. Got a couple buddies coming down fighting too, so it's gonna be a good one. The guy I'm
That's
fighting, he's fought a good bit. He's 4-1 right now. He fought at Fury FC down in Texas and everything. So he's a well-known fighter, very well-rounded.
that's good. And also, Dakota, I have another question I want to ask you. Can you walk us through your fight camp routine? What do you train like when you're in fight camp? Like, what do you do to what do you train mostly when you're there? Like, what's your steps of training when you train every day at fight camp?
So really, like I'm in fight camp right now. So we start pretty early. Um,
Okay.
we'll come in the gym, make sure everybody's stretched out good. Um, really, we focus a lot on cardio because that's like a big thing. A lot of people don't focus on cardio and then they gas out second round, which we do not want to do. So we do a
Okay.
lot of like the assault bike, which is like a fan bike. You hit that kills you. We do a lot of light sparring. Um, really like takedowns. You work a lot of takedown defense, and then weightlifting. A lot of people don't aspect that, but that is actually the Dagestani way. They do a lot of weightlifting, but we really focus on that. And then like week before, it's like it's pretty slow, just mainly cardio. That's pretty much it. We just mainly focus on cardio and then technical striking. Technical striking is a big thing. A lot of people, especially in the amateur level, do not focus on technical striking. They think throwing punches is just the way. So you see a lot of crazy punches, and whenever you get that in the gym and you have multiple people that have very technical striking, it really helps you later on because anybody that swings crazy outside threes and fours, I mean, ones and twos straight up the gut, that kills it every time. So that's a big focus.
That's good. Do you have any pro fight rivals or super situations? Oh, superstition.
Superstitions.
Superstitions, yes, my bad, sorry.
Um, yeah, I don't sleep the night before fights. I don't sleep, and it might just be because I'm in my head. But so far, I just don't sleep, and it usually helps. To be honest with you, I feel like I'm more focused in, and then I I don't eat anything that whole day, which helps too. But that's about it. I don't really have any kind of like superstition other than I watch the fights, which a lot of people don't do. I will most fighters won't watch the fights before their fight, and I do just to get my headspace right.
That's good. Chestnut, do you have any questions for him?
Yeah, what's your ultimate goal in MMA?
I think I got the same goal as every other fighter, be a world champion. But I mean, in all reality, I mean, there's a lot of amazing fighters in this world. I would like to make it to the UFC eventually, and yeah, I mean, I would be happy just to make it on a main card somewhere eventually. That's my ultimate goal. Anything else past that, I mean, is just a blessing from God. But that's my ultimate goal.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be exciting because when you look at, guys that there's so many guys that fight and guys that are retired now that when you look at them, they say, oh, you know, the simplest thing, I think one name to mention is like Kimbo Slice and like some of those guys that they were street fighters. They literally were like, hey, you're gonna pay me to do this. All right, let me see how this is, and they turned into icons of the sport. So in a certain sense, it all basically for some of your legends, like even Nate Diaz, would have probably never thought, hey, I'm gonna be an MMA. He walked into the gym where his brother was training and was like, let me learn this because I'm too busy getting in trouble, and then now is great UFC star. You know, it's guys like that where I always say those are the best stories in sports. Somebody that comes in where I say, it's that, and my second best is always throughout boxing is that old story of, hey, I hit rock bottom, had nothing else to do. Guy tells me, oh, you want to street fight for a couple dollars, or oh, you box before? I used to be an amateur. Oh, you want to take this fight for this much money? And it kind of boils down to some of that, and I think that is a great aspect of, I would say, both sports. And even then, like some of our wrestling viewers will understand some of that MMA preparation. You know, a lot of that stuff is just it's all hand in hand, in some ways, and even some of it with boxing. But I guess I lead into my next question here of what are some of your hobbies outside of MMA?
Man, to be honest with you, the MMA is really taken over my life. A lot of MMA fighters don't spend more than 3 or 4 days in the gym, and the guys I train with and me, like we are in here every single day, maybe one rest day a week, and it's rough, but this is my hobby, man. I don't really go anywhere else. I leave here and go straight to work. I wake up, come straight here, leave here, go straight to work. It's just a repeating thing. Um, Other than that, man, it's rest. On like the weekends, it's a lot of rest to prepare to come back in here. Like, there's no, I would not have, I would rather not have any other hobby because this hobby is amazing, but this is my only hobby.
Right. So how's the support you get? I would I would assume the support you would get from like family and how what their aspect of when they go to fights or friends even.
So my family doesn't really support it just because like they're okay with me fighting, but they won't come to like fights like that. My dad does. That's about it. My stepdad does. My brothers do. My brother's always there. Um, but everybody's really kind of like back me with it. None of them like it because I mean, you're getting hurt. You're getting beat up. You're going to war every time you step into a cage. I mean, and you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But family, friends, everybody's always supported me. Everybody believes I'm going to go very far with this sport. I hear it all the time. I mean, I honestly, I've everybody around here always talks to me. I had a dude walk up to me at Applebee's last night, and he's like, "Hey, man, when you fighting again?" I'm like, this is it's definitely taken over, and everybody supported me a lot. So I think that's gonna keep happening, and as long as I keep winning, but
Right.
it should be good. Everybody supports me very, very well.
and that's always a good thing because when you see a lot of people take grass very quickly, that's when you have conversation of once in a generation talent. When the other day, I was talking with somebody and they said when you find your thing, you will know it's your thing because you will excel at it so much more better without having to understand the aspect of putting in 10 times as much work as somebody that has not found their thing. And at first I didn't understand that. And now, right on the pod, I understand it. Somebody who MMA might not be their thing and they never leave the gym, never leave the gym. But somebody where it's their thing will enjoy being in a gym 7 days a week and enjoy every aspect of it. And it's like they don't have to put that time, but they enjoy it. So it just kind of, something that came through with me. If you were going to speak to somebody of younger age, and I say like I would say that freshman year high school and like almost middle school, what's the best piece of advice you would give them if they were saying, hey, I want to do this or do that, or just in general?
I think it's an amazing thing for everyone to do, for sure. I think it definitely helps with anger problems, everything else. I mean, anxiety, it helps you really focus up in life and really have a discipline to you that most people won't have. So I would tell them, it's amazing. It's amazing to get into. I mean, just train, 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 and if you truly believe this is what you want to do, I mean, you just got to do it. There's no, there's nobody going to stop you from doing it, and it's just one of those things you just have to have the mentality to do something like this. But I would say, I would say do it as long as you can, and but I would also tell them there's a lot of things that can go wrong. I mean, you don't know how you're going to get hit. You don't know how often you're going to be injured. You don't you don't know if you could get injured and be hurt for the rest of your life. I mean, there's a lot of good and bad with this sport, and it's all a chess game, man. I mean, there's no the middle ground is you do it for a couple years and get out, and I mean, get your discipline, have the have this aspect in your life, but there's no there's no telling you whether it's good or bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
You have to when you have to make weight for a fight, what's your meal plan? What do you eat? What do you do to make you keep losing weight and stay on your weight that you're gonna fight at?
So this is the first time I've cut weight, and right now I'm doing chicken and rice. I started a little bit out because I was having some heart problems that I had to cancel my last fight to find out what was going on with my heart. But I'm doing it a little easier this way. Most fighters don't do it the way I'm doing it, but I'm doing chicken and rice, um, hamburger and rice. I weigh everything. Everything's about 6 ounces, and then oatmeal and eggs. That's about it. So for the next 7, 8 weeks, I'm going to be eating just that.
And then after you're done having your fight, then you could go back to eating wherever you want, or then do you have to make weight again?
No, I'm going to eat as much as I possibly can. As much as I possibly can, man.
Oh, okay. And this title fight that you're fighting, what's the belt called? The title fight you're fighting for?
It's Nightmare Promotions. They're amateur middleweight. We're doing it a little different because we both have walked around at 185, the middleweight, but we're both smaller. We really shouldn't be there, so we're gonna do like 170 and a half. Just do like a little catch weight for the belt. So it works out good, but it's gonna be a good one.
That's good.
Yep, I'm excited, man.
I know, so are we.
Oh, very exciting. So, what's your all-time favorite UFC match?
All time favorite UFC match? Ooh, man, I don't know. That's a hard one, man.
I know. I know, right?
Oh man, probably. McDonald versus Lawler. That was a
That-
bloodbath, dude.
Oh, that is a good one. See, the problem now with current UFC is back in the day, they didn't do that Vaseline. So they used to let that ring get a little more red. Now
Yeah, oh
they're
yeah,
all about if that ring is getting red, they're like, hey, Doc, take a look. Do we need to stop
yeah,
this here? You
yeah. They
know,
try not to show that as much anymore. That
I know.
used to be really rough.
Yeah, but those used to be like, I understand it might have been very rough on the fighters, but that used to be like, you know,
Oh
that
yeah,
was when you knew you had a good fight. When you see both guys, unless you still get it now when you have like a Diaz, like Diaz McGregor was absolutely like, hey,
oh yeah.
yous are both got it going. And I think that's something interesting to be said. But that was one
Roundtree
thing.
versus Piera. That was a bloodbath.
Oh yeah. So my favorite is Conor McGregor, Jose Aldo, because everybody hated Conor. They said he's not this, he's not good, he's not that. Everybody said wait till Jose Aldo gets a hold of him, and that was not the case. It was wait till Conor got a hold of Jose Aldo, and it made a big story in MMA, and even in like boxing too. Like when you load up and you just say, all right, I'm gonna load up and I'm just gonna put all this power in this one punch. You miss, you're so like I feel like the fighter is so susceptible to being knocked out because now they've loaded up and put all their power, and now you're going forward with just all that, and then now you got somebody with a counter. That's why I always look at it as the sneak attack of the counter, because whether you see it or not, sometimes the counter could be match ending, fight ending. It makes all the difference.
Yeah, it's good to be a counter fighter, but also be able to come forward, which it worked out for McGregor really well.
Yeah,
That was an
it
awesome
did.
fight.
It did. A lot of McGregor's career very well worked out for him. I say this like all fighters wish they could have it like this, where the man was able to quit his job, and his wife just let him like, hey, go live your dream. You're gonna get there. I know it, and that's I say there's no bigger support than that. You know,
Yeah,
some people post on like Twitter, Instagram. They say, well, no, I have it good. I could do this. I'm a welder and I do this. I'm that. I do this and I fight. I'm like, no, nobody's got a better like wife than Conor McGregor. The man's on welfare already, barely able to pay his stuff, and she says, "Hey, don't worry about that. I got you. You go do this fight game."
yeah, 100%, 100%. That's awesome. I mean, he's definitely got it. I mean, I could never bring myself to do that just because I'm I'm always afraid to be like to fail in life. But I mean, if it worked out like that, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean that's why now like you look at him now, he has so much money because he was at the bottom. They
Oh yeah,
both were, and like he was at the bottom, but when he got to the UFC, he just didn't want to show up. He wanted to make sure you knew who he was, and that was something that was just fairly interesting. And those are some of the that's why I say those are some of the most dangerous fighters. Somebody that was never at bottom, they never know what they're fighting for. Unless they have like a child or something like that, I give them a pass because then they say, no, I'm fighting for my daughter, so her future is this and that. That's different. But when you look at a Connor situation where your dad says, no, I think it was a plumber. Your dad says, no, you're gonna be a plumber. And he was originally boxing and he was a plumbers. That says, no, you're going to do this. You'll never make it doing that. We need realistic goals. And he turned his goals into an MMA dream.
no, 100%, 100%. And I mean, I understand that because I grew up with nothing. I mean, we were dirt poor. This is kind of the way I've looked at it too. Is like I enjoy this sport, but if there wasn't any money in it, I would not do it. I would not do it as often. I would do it as a hobby. I wouldn't be a fighter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I know this will help keep me from ever having to go back to where I was as a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And talking about MMA, Dakota, what's the hardest part about being an MMA fighter? that people don't see?
Man, people don't see a lot of it. Everybody thinks you just go in there and you fight. Like anybody can fight. Anybody can fight on the street, but you're going 10, 15 minutes. I mean, that's that's a long time, and people don't get that. And if I say the hardest part is having the mentality to knowing, or the mental game, know that you're going in there and you're most fighters. I know this goes for me, especially if, like, I'm willing to die in there to win. Like that takes a lot. Like you to be able to say like, oh, I'm willing to go in here and be okay with getting whooped on the whole time. That takes a lot. And I'd say that's probably one of the hardest for sure.
Yeah, because mostly people just go and you see the fight. You never see the process what you guys go through to come here and fight. And
Yeah.
nobody knows the behind the scenes.
No, I mean, street fights happen all the time. You know, people will just fight for 30 seconds and it's, oh, that was a good fight. But no, when you're an MMA fighter, man, you're training nonstop all the time, and you are, if not, you're getting whooped, and that's what a lot of people don't understand too, is like, oh, well, why do you train so much? Like, you're in good shape, this and that. But like, I know if I don't train hard enough and the person I'm fighting trains harder, I'm getting whooped. It all comes back to that. And I'm not willing to do that.
And what would you say, and what would you say to a little kid who's like looking up to you and wants to be an MMA fighter, and then to all your fans that love you and support you, what would you say to them to give them great advice as an MMA fighter?
And say, keep your chin down, hands up, and don't be scared to get hit. Sometimes you got to give a punch to, or take a punch to give it a punch. You know what I mean? A lot of people are scared to get hit, and it shows. As anybody that's a counter fighter, goes back to what we were talking about earlier. You have to be willing to stand there and see that punch coming at you. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't want that, so they're on their back foot the whole time, scrambling. I mean, that's the biggest thing is being able to mentally prepare to get punched in the face, and it all works out. If that's something that anybody wants to do, I think everybody should at least once. At least once.
And then also, for everybody, for everybody here in the Wayne podcast who doesn't know you, Dakota, or they want to get to know you, what's your social media, your platform that everybody could look at you, and where they could look you up, and where they could go to watch the fight online and all of that?
Um, I'm a big Facebook guy. I mean, I'm young, but I'm an old head. So you can just look up my name, Dakota, Grooms, and my Instagram is Grooms Dakota underscore 04. I think, I don't know. I don't ever get on there hardly, but um, yeah, that's about it. I usually post all the fights and where to watch them and everything like that. So
All right. And do you have a website or anywhere we like? Say we want to buy tickets to go to your fight or watch it on TV. Do you have any website or anything?
I do not, but I post all that on social media.
Okay. So Dakota, then thank you so much for being here, part of this Wave podcast. We're so glad you said yes, because this is our first time having a big MMA fighter here, and for
Yeah.
you giving us the opportunity to keep growing and have more people like you is a blessing, and we love that you gave us this opportunity. Thank you so much, Dakota, for everything.
Thank you guys. You guys are great. I love watching you guys. So
Thank you. We love that.
Thank you. Thank you. So you're gonna go ahead and end it, Sebastian?
All right, so Guy Way podcast. I hope you enjoyed this video, this interview, this talking with Dakota. Dakota, how you say your last name? Because I don't want to mess it up.
Grooms, Groms.
Okay, Dakota Grooms, famous MMA fighter who's 2-0 and living his dream to become um always a champion and being the best person he is. Give him a like, go follow social media so you could keep watching him if he ever comes back here or whatever he posts. He's a great guy and he has a great career and he's gonna keep being the best Dakota Grooms that he's ever gonna be. So I want you guys to send him love, show him love and everything because he's such a great guy and we love to have him. And We want to thank him for everything and to all his fan base and to everybody here. Hope you enjoyed this video. We love you all. And Benoit and Dakota, do you want to say any final words before Benoit ends it?
Well, see me at the top, man.
Oh yeah.
All right,
So
Benoit, end it.
with that being said, I'm gonna get into my ending here. With that being said, we'll put his social media down at the bottom to double clarify, as I was able to pull it up. The Instagram is Dakota_Grooms04. If you would like to, whatever, as fans. But this is the weigh-in. So with that being said, this is the weigh-in by Benoit Chestnut.
And Sebastian Romero.
And
And
this is
special
this,
guest, Dakota Grooms.
yeah. And this is this week's episode with special guest Dakota Grooms. We wish him luck on his MMA career, as we always keep up with our fighters, as you guys know. We try to, as much as they let us. You only can reach out to a fighter so many times before they don't even reach out back to you. But with that being said, we thank you all for watching
Cheer
this
Dakota,
one.
before you do say that, cheer Dakota, so he's going to win this title and he's going to be a champ. And I'm sorry for cutting you off. Go what you were saying.
Yeah. And with that being said, you guys know, be on the lookout. The weigh-in jingle has now been finished. Our own song that I personally crafted myself and made for the weigh-in. This started for a long time working on this, but the jingle is going to be coming out. Thank you all. And this is this week's weigh-in. Weighing out.
Bye, guys. Mwah.